Our next guest wants to kill your credit card. He thinks that mobile phones, not pieces of plastic, are the future of transactions for money. Jayastu Bhattacharya is the founder and chief executive of Zipmark. It's a new mobile payments platform. Jay, good to have you with us on Bloomberg.
Thank you for having me.
What is a mobile payments platform?
Well, as we are all carrying small computers in our pocket these days, the ability for us to use those computers to transmit tokens of trust has emerged. And so the requirement now for transactions to be managed by a very, very focused set of companies is starting to democratize. And so what we wanted to create was a platform for billers to be able to manage their transactions on the bills that they distribute today to their customers. So, for example, a landlord who gives each one of their tenants a bill every month for their rent should be able to give on their bill a small code that can be scanned on the mobile phone that represents the intent to transact with that landlord, and to be able to, at that point, initiate a transaction from the tenant's checking account to the landlord's checking account.
Now, would this include a paper bill, or could it also mean that you get an email? Let's say in your fictional case, you have an email that's sent from the landlord saying, all right, so here's your rent. You open up that email on your mobile device, and there's a code in there, and then that links to an application that creates a secure token, a secure and encrypted connection between you and the landlord's bank?
That's exactly right. And what you can do with these tokens is you can really transmit them on any format. We've chosen to use a format called the QR code, which you see a lot in marketing these days, to initiate the transaction. And the QR code is fantastic because it's
those square barcodes.
That's right. That's exactly right. And people have begun using them for a number of different uses. And the good thing about it is that you can use it on any printed media. You can use it on any screen-based media. You can even email it, like you said. You can MMS the code. The code itself is a proxy. It's a stand-in for a secure token that we generate for each transaction that's created on the Zipmark platform.
A unique code for
Correct.
Every transaction.
That's
so it's not just like you got a PIN or a secure ID. This is something that happens every time.
That's exactly right. And that code is only meaningful to the party with whom you intend to transact. So if I want to transact with my wife and you use your phone to read the code that I've generated, it won't work on your phone.
So what needs to happen from the retailer's perspective? Let's say in that example being that you see something in a magazine and you want to buy it and you just want to use your mobile phone to complete the transaction. What does the retailer need to do?
Well, retailers have a number of different options at the point of sale today. The primary one today being plastic. And to use a solution like this, we envision a use case, for example, at a gas station where the retailer owns the point of sale, and they can show this token on the screen. Many of the gas stations, they don't like the idea of paying 3.5% to the card companies for every one of their transactions. And those fees, if you ask any merchant, are really the bane of their existence. And there's no way for them to negotiate them down, irrespective of how much volume they do. And so we want to give a way for somebody to pay for a particular bill using the money in their bank account to that particular merchant, and we only charge 1%.
So it's the difference between paying 3% or 2% to Visa, MasterCard, or American Express and paying 1% to use something from Zipmark.
That's exactly right. And we're able to do that because instead of leveraging the high-cost credit card rails or the bank-managed ACH process, which is the automated clearinghouse process, we use the digital check rail. So you've seen a lot of the advertisements these days for folks taking photos of checks and depositing them on using their mobile phones. We use that same protocol to initiate a digital transaction, a digital check. And what we do is that before we allow any party to create a transaction, we make sure that the funds are good in their checking account, and we initiate the process right away. So it's taking away all of the delays in the checking process and creating that process instantaneously with a layer of authorization, and we know who you're transacting with.
What do the banks think about all this?
Well, I think banks would love to keep everything on the credit card rails. That's where they make the most of their money. They can take those transactions and push them around to different types of instruments.
Sure, they get the float, too.
Absolutely. But I think the reality is that if you look at the volume of transactions today that still happen on checks, particularly in the small business space and medium-sized business space, and the number of transactions that happen with cash, there's clearly an enormous unaddressed marketplace out there. And that's really what we're going after. So the example that I gave you of rent is a perfect example. No matter how many card transactions, NFC transactions, online transactions you do, in 95% of cases in the United States, people are paying their rent with a check.
Maybe you're going to give points. You're going to have a point program for loyalty
I'm glad
if you use it, Zipmark?
That's been the hot topic around Zipmark for the last couple of days.
When you come to a decision, will you break the news here?
Absolutely.
All right. I want to thank you very much, Jayastu Bhattacharya, founder and chief executive of Zipmark, giving us a little insight into the next generation of payments going mobile.